Hi, this is a quick run through on how to take care of a CALDERA spa, in this case a Utopia series, using the freshwater ozone system. First, let's identify everything on your spa. The filter compartment is here. Inside the filter compartment we have a hair and lint basket. This is removable by turning one of these four knurls slightly to the left, and the whole basket lifts out. This gives us our filter. The filter is something we want to take out once every 30 days at longest and clean, and I'll give you a demonstration on how to clean the filter. Inside the filter, if you look down inside here, you'll see a little hole. That's where a silver cartridge will sit, and I'll show you on a filled spa exactly how that works. Going through the rest of the spa, we have a skimmer grate. The skimmer grate is removable. Just leave it in place. Should it come out, it's easy to reinstall. We have two little clips on the top. They interface with these two little tabs, and then a clip on the bottom. It slides back down on top of the two clips on top and secures into position. So this is just kind of a decorative piece. On top of the skimmer, once we put the filter back in, it just friction fits down on top of that gray standpipe. The basket goes back in, rotates to the right, secures into position, and then our lid goes on top. On this particular model, it has a place for a sensing system, as well as a place for a salt water system. Neither one of these are going to be used in this case. This is our touchpad display, and the touchpad is pretty intuitive. Basically, this is an indicator for your jets on and off. This is an icon that will work if we have a saltwater system on it, so this will not be active on your spa. And this is our light. To activate the light, we turn it on once, then it brings us up to our lighting screen. Here we can choose one of four zones: outside of the spa, inside of the spa at the body, inside of the spa at the footwell, and the bar top of the spa. We can then choose different colors. We can also go to the shortcut, which gives us underwater lighting. There we can change the underwater lighting color by touching a color. Topside colors can be changed by activating the topside button. Here we can activate whatever color we want at our bar top or top side. A little ring around the valves and so forth comes on. And our exterior lighting, same thing. This allows us to change colors on the outside of the tub. Hit the home button, it takes us back home. This will turn our jets on. Jets have two pumps on this spa, so we can turn on low speed of one pump, high speed of that same pump, or high speed of the other pump, and we can turn on just one pump at a time if you want, or run them both concurrently. To shut them both off, we just hit the off button on either one. Again, return to our home screen. The lighting system will automatically shut off after 4 hours should we leave it on. This button at the top turns everything on the spa on or off. So if we turn it off, it'll turn off the lights, the jets, everything. This is a memory button, so we can set the spa up with the colors we want, the pump system that we want on in low speed or high speed, and then hit save. That will then restore that every time we hit the memory button. Going back to our home screen again, this is a water care icon that will allow us to go into two cycles. One is a clean cycle, and that's good for infusing our chemicals into the water, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. Again, going back to that water care screen, there's a vanishing act system, and that's only applicable for our salt system, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Going into the gear button here, this lets us set our temperature and lock our temperature. This allows us to lock the entire spa, and this basically turns the lights timer for the outside of the spa on or off. If you leave it on, it'll come on every night for 4 hours and then turn itself off automatically. That's just for the external lighting on the tub. Back to the home screen again. The water care system in this case will not be active. This little system will not be active. To change the temperature, you can touch the temperature on the home screen and then increase or decrease as we wish to. There are heating modes that allow you to set up different energy saving, and the energy saving modes let us have the heating system time out for different modes throughout the day. Typically, we just leave this alone unless there's some driving reason for us to change it. That's pretty much the run through on the topside control. Oh, one other thing that we can do. So let's say we're reading the spa from the outside, it's oriented correctly. If you want to read it from inside the spa, hit that little circle chasing circle, or arrow chasing arrow, and it'll flip the screen for inside. or it'll flip it back to the outside. Just touch that and it'll flip it back to the outside. Time of day is indicated right here. You can set your time of day, increase or decrease the hours by hitting the gear button, and then allows you to set the hours or the minutes. And that should be set up initially. You can also have it be in military time or standard time, and then choose AM or PM on the choice button. That covers the control system. Again, let's look at the bar top. This will be not active unless you're using a salt or a sensor system. This will not be active unless you're using a salt system. We will not be in most cases. This is an air control for the lounger side of the spa, so this allows air to bleed into the jets in the lounger. That's the foot jets as well as the jets in the shoulder and the neck area. This will allow air to bleed into the big jet in the center of the spa. So there's a big Euphoria jet down there. It's indicated by the blue light right now. This turns the air on or off to that particular jet. The air controls on the other side of the spa will work for the seat on the left or the seat on the right. So those two air controls over in the middle of the bar top on that side operate kind of strategically where the jets adds air to the jets on this end or air to the jets on that end. Excuse me one second here, I'm gonna walk in front of you. This is a diverter valve, and this will allow us to put more or less pressure on this seat or that seat. This is a 2-pump spa again, so one pump will power the lounger side, one pump will power this side, and then this will allow us to change pressure between them. Your headrest should just stay in place most times, but if you want to remove them for cleaning, you can basically just pull up on the headrest. It comes free of 2 little recesses here, 2 little dog ears here, and it goes back in the same way. Kind of stretch the pillow out, and it will reattach into the spa easily. The jets themselves can be controlled by turning the jets on or off right on the jet here, these Verisage jets. This is called a multiple speed jet or multiple type of pressure jet. We can have it either lined straight, so the water will come straight out, or you can push it off to the side and have it become a rotating or oscillating jet. Realign it back in the straight position and the water will come straight out. Again, off or on these jets. The jets in this side of the spa are not adjustable. Do not take them off. If you turn this, you'll actually remove the nozzle. These are static as far as the individual jet itself. However, you can have small adjustments as far as the nozzle position, about 5 degrees of movement, up, down, sideways. These are jets for your hips. These are jets for the palms of your hands. And these are spinning jets. So if you fiddle with these or twist them on or off, they will allow this inner nozzle to be removed. I'm gonna remove one just to kind of show you how to reinstall it. This comes off, and this little spinning part in here will also come out of the spa. So if this ever comes out, just reinstall it this way. That goes there. There's 2 little tabs, one here, one here. Those fit into those 2 recesses. Basically reinstall it the same way we took it out. Put the 2 tabs into the female recesses and turn that to secure it. That's pretty much a walkthrough on the operational portion of the spa. Your equipment compartment here, this door needs to be accessible. So we don't want to put anything on this side of the spa that we can't move, so that we can take this door off. The door actually goes from here over to the other side of the spa, top to bottom. So if that door were to be removed, this is what's underneath there, your pumps and motors and heater and so forth, control module. This is where the electrical will hook into the spa. Conduit will be brought in and tied into this by your electrician. For the most part, as a homeowner and a spa owner, you won't have much to do under here, but I just wanted to show you that. That's the access point. There is a drain valve at the bottom of the spa. So if you need to drain the tub, that cap comes off, your garden hose goes on, and then by pulling that valve out, it allows water to drain out of the spa. Okay, now it comes time to fill your new spa. Once you get it in place and remove the wrapping from it, you want to just kind of wipe it all down with Windex and make sure that everything looks nice and clean, remove any debris that may have gotten blown in. Now you're going to take a garden hose, insert it into the filter compartment. First you'll want to remove your filter, remove your skimmer, and remove the lid, and then insert your garden hose in here to fill the tub. By filling it this way, it'll purge all the air out of the plumbing system, so you'll have no problem with starting the spa up once you're ready to go. Once it's filled, you want to fill it up to the water line as you see it here, It's very critical that you keep the water just below the headrests all the way around. Go ahead and put power to the spa at that point. Turn on the, there's 2 breakers that feed the spa through the sub panel. Turn on first the 30 amp breaker. Wait till you see bubbles coming through the floor of the spa as you see here. Once you see the bubbles flowing, then turn on the 20 amp breaker. That'll turn the heater on, and then go away, cover it up and go away for several hours, about 6 hours, and it'll heat above 80 degrees. At that point, you'll want to get your chemical kit out. We're going to provide a kit like this, and the kit itself contains several items. Our test strips. The test strips are a 4-part tester. We're going to test, really, the only thing we care about initially is the pH level. That's this top gradient here. So you want your pH to be in the orange, middle orange range, about 7.2 or 7.0 parts per million. The way you test it is to take your strip out of the bottle. First time you take it, you're going to have to remove the little cap on top. Take a strip out and then insert it into the water. The way we test is to hold the strip in one hand, this direction with the test tabs down, put it in the water, just wet it, then take it out and lay it down. Lay it down for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, bring it out, and you're going to bring it up and compare it to your test strip here. So you can use the water that's on the strip to kind of stick it to the bottle, and it'll allow you to measure the level of the top one, which is the pH. Notice here there's 0 chlorine in the water, and that's going to be that way all week long. We will shock the spa 1 time a week, and when we shock it, we're going to be adding enhanced shock, probably about a capful to the water, and we'll be drizzling it into the skimmer, and I'll show you that in 1 second. When you shock it, you want to bring it up to this 10 parts per million level. For your pH correction, you'll be using the pH up or pH down. In the beginning, you'll be using pH down because the water will be very alkaline. So you'll add a capful to the skimmer every 15 minutes. So you turn the system on by clicking the little button there that has a little circle. Hit the clean cycle, which turns the jets on for 10 minutes, and then drizzle your chemicals in the skimmer. I'll give you an example here. We'll add some pH decrease in the water. Take our hose out, get it out of the way. The way you add it is to slowly drizzle it into the skimmer. So we fill a capful, kind of level it off. So we want to level the inner ring inside the skimmer, and then slowly pour it in. As we pour it in, the water is going to suck it down and dissolve it and distribute it throughout the spa. Once we've added a cap, let it sit for about 10 minutes. The jets will automatically turn off at that point. Once the jets are off, come back and retest. So our goal is to get the level of pH at 7.2. So we were a little high on our pH to begin with. We're up at about 8.2. We're going to test it again, just dunk it in, and now we're perfect. So our pH is exactly the color we wanted on our test strip there. Once you get that set, then you can go ahead and insert your silver cartridge. The silver cartridge is in a box. It looks like this. Freshwater silver cartridge, mineral cartridge. You remove the cartridge. There's 2 components in here, a tail piece and a body piece. The only thing we're going to use is the body piece, and it inserts right down inside the filter compartment. I don't know that you can see it in here, but we've already got one inserted here. So it sticks down in that little hole that we showed you earlier. There's a little hole in that standpipe. This silver cartridge goes right down inside that hole and stands up in the middle, so that when our filter goes back down in there, it's going to be inside of the filter. And that is replaced every 4 months. There's some little stickers in the box here, and I recommend that you take those stickers. They tell you what week and what month of the year. Stick them right on the side of the skimmer or the silver cartridge itself, and that'll remind you when to put this in, and you'll want to change this every 4 months if you have the tub that long or longer. You can order those through our website at easychems.com. Once that's inserted, we can dispose of the packaging, then reinstall the filter. The filter is a large hole here. It's going to fit down over that silver cartridge, so when it goes down inside, it'll fit down over this. You'll see it here. Force it down into place. And there's just a small amount of resistance when you put it in. That's normal. Once it's sit all the way bottomed out into that compartment, then your filter is all the way down. Your skimmer basket will go into place next. Put that in place and then rotate it into position. This should float freely. The inner two pieces should be floating freely and should float just like this, slightly above the water level. So we would maybe need to repeat that several times if your pH is very high. Once you've got your pH set, we're going to add a shock treatment, and that is your enhanced shock. And the way again we do that is to turn our clean cycle on, hit the little button that looks like a teardrop with arrows circular around it, and here we'll hit the clean cycle start button. That turns the jets on and sucks water down into the skimmer. So once you see water going into the skimmer, you can add a shock treatment by just opening up this cap. And this cap's open by squeezing on the little raised areas here and here. So if you squeeze on that and then rotate it past, that's a little safety device. Then you pour your cap full. Full. Shake it to clean. And then just slowly drizzle it in. Don't want to pour it too fast or else the chemical will kind of build up on top of the filter, which doesn't hurt much, but it does leave granules that are undissolved. So this way, by slowing it and pouring it in slowly, and then you want to test it to make sure we're getting it to at least 10 parts per million, and we'll do this once a week. Let's go back again and test our test strips. So we've already established our pH, now we're looking at our chlorine level. On our test strips, we care about this is our pH, this is our chlorine level. 6 out of 7 days of the week, the chlorine level should be 0. You don't need to have any chlorine at all. One time a week, one night a week, and make it the same day every week if you can. You want to get it up to this deep purple, 10 parts per million. So we've let our jets run for a few minutes, usually 10 minutes. The system will then shut itself off. At that point, let your water get still. Come back with your test strip, again into the water and back out. And you can see here how dark the chlorine level is. And that's perfect. We want it to get to that deep purple one time a week. And you want to do that after your last use of the day. So let's say we use it today and we're done with it. We're not going to use it anymore tonight. Every Sunday night, for example, you would use the tub. You're done using it for the day. Do your shock treatment. We'll get it to this high level, 10 parts per million. Make sure that you got it there. And once you've established how much it takes to get to 10 parts per million on your spa, you don't need to retest afterwards every time. This kind of gives us a different type of sanitizer other than the ozone and the silver. Again, we're ozonating 24 hours a day. We're adding silver 24 hours a day with our little cartridge here. And this one time a week shock adds a third layer of protection to make sure that we oxidize away and add a different type of sanitizer so we don't get any bacteria that becomes resistant to the ozone or the silver. This level will go away in 12 hours. So if you come out tomorrow, it should be almost white again. And definitely within 36 hours, that chemical will be gone all the way. So it's important you keep your pH in the mid-range. You shock the water once a week to that 10 parts per million. If you linger in the spa all day long on a mid-week time, then shock it after that as well. But normally you'd shock it every 7 days. Heavy use, add a shock after that. So that kind of deals with the initial water chemistry startup. A couple of other things that we'll do initially is to add a bottle of Metalgon. And this, you just open it up and pour it any place in the spa that you want. The rule of thumb is that liquid chemicals go into the body of the spa. Any dry chemicals or shock treatment or pH treatments will always go into the skimmer with the jets on. This one can go in with the water not running or running either way, jets on or off. And this only goes in when you first fill the tub up. You do this once a year or once every 2 years when you drain the tub. This spa only needs to be drained but every 2 years. The filter needs to be cleaned once a month. This should be added once a year when you put fresh water in, and the pH should be checked about once a month. The silver cartridge, we change every 4 months. So those are the simple steps to do water care on this tub. And the last step is that once a month when we clean our filter, we'll give you a bottle of this filter blaster solution. And the filter blaster, you'll take your garden hose out and put a nozzle on it. take your filter out. And we're gonna set this out in a place where we can run water over it and it won't cause any problem. And get a nozzle of this type or one of the more direct types. This one we'll make sure and put on full spray position so that it's gonna give us the most intense spray. And then we're gonna wash the filter off by spraying down the filter, cleaning it off to wash off all the initial debris, wash the top off. Once you've done that, you're going to want to add your filter spray, the filter blaster. And the way to administer this is to spray one time, hold it back about a foot from the filter, so you're about a foot away, spray, rotate your filter, spray, 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 so you've gone all the way around the circumference now. That will put the filter blaster onto the filter and it'll sink into the fibers and release all the oils that are trapped inside the filter. Let it soak for about 5 to 10 minutes and then come back and wash it off again with your nozzle. Spraying it downward, spray, 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 and you'll see the debris coming out of it. I like to then invert the filter so that it's upside down. I do that same spraying process, spray it and dividing each one of these little pleats. As you do that, this is one of the most important steps for water care and water maintenance. If your filter gets clogged or is occluded, it can have the spa stop heating and water clarity can be diminished. So cleaning your filter is very important, at least once a month. You cannot clean it too often. If you cleaned it every 2 weeks, it would be fine, but definitely within 3 to 4 weeks, clean your filter. Once you're done with that, reinstall your filter, put your chemicals back away, keep them in a tote, and the tote itself should be kept out of the sun and out of the rain if you can, so maybe keep it in the garage or undercover someplace. That pretty much concludes the operational instructions on the spa. If you need us at any times, we're always available. You can call me directly at 408-218-0102 is my cell, or call our store. There's someone that'll pick up the phone here 7 days a week during our opening hours, and that's 408-320-1530. If you have questions and you'd like to email us at info@hottubwarehouse, that's HOTTUBWHEREHOUSE.com. Thanks a lot, and I hope you love your spa. We appreciate you.